In the remote hills of southern Morocco, where the mountains meet the desert and the sun casts golden shadows across endless fields, there was a village so quiet and still it felt untouched by time. Here, life moved with a rhythm shaped by nature. Days were spent tilling the land, raising animals, and living in harmony with the earth. Among these humble villagers was a man known to all, Ahmed. Ahmed was not just a farmer, he was a legend in the making. His deep tan came not from leisure, but from years under the scorching sun. His hands, rough with calluses, had pulled countless animals from the brink of death and nurtured them back to life. He had inherited the farm from his father, who had inherited it from his own. But what made Ahmed truly extraordinary wasn't the land or the livestock. It was his heart. His connection to animals, especially horses, was unlike anything people had ever seen. He didn't raise them for status, profit, or work. He raised them out of love. From the day he could walk, he had been among them, brushing their manes, whispering to them, walking beside them as if they were his equals. His parents had passed down more than land. They had passed down a philosophy that animals were not here to serve humans, but to live with them in loyalty and friendship. Every morning, as the sun peeked over the hills, Ahmed would wake before the first roosters crow and head straight to the stable. His horses would greet him eagerly, nickering and stomping, knowing his voice, his scent, his kindness. He would speak to them softly, not just to give commands, but to share affection. He believed horses, like humans, could feel joy, sadness, and above all, connection. People from across the region came to see him work. Children followed him around, hoping to learn. Elders respected him. He was more than a horse trainer. He was a man who had made peace with the wild. But fate, as it often does, would soon test the strength of his compassion. One morning, as Ahmed passed through town on his way to collect supplies, he overheard a conversation that stopped him cold. A foal had been born on a nearby farm, weak, frail, barely breathing. The mother had suffered during labor and passed on her sickness to her child. The villagers had already written the foal off. There were even whispers that the owner planned to end its life quickly and quietly. The thought struck Ahmed deep in his chest. Without a second thought, he turned his cart and headed toward that farm. There, lying in the dirt, barely moving, was the foal. Its legs were like twigs. Its eyes were half closed, as if life had already started to slip away. "Don't waste your time," the farm owner said, noticing Ahmed's expression. "It won't last another night." Ahmed knelt beside the foal and gently touched her cheek. She didn't move, but she breathed. That was enough. "Sell her to me," he said. The man blinked. "Seriously? You want to buy her?" Ahmed nodded. "I don't care what it costs. Let me try." The farmer shook his head. "You're stubborn. But fine. Don't come asking for your money back when she dies." Ahmed paid and lifted the tiny foal with trembling care into his truck. On the way home, he whispered to her, promising she would be safe now. He named her Kala, which meant eternal. Back at his farm, he made a special place for her. Warm, soft, quiet. He brought in the best vet in the area. After examining her, the vet sighed. "She's severely underdeveloped. Her lungs are weak. Even with care, she might not make it past a few months." But Ahmed refused to accept that. He had saved animals in worse condition. What mattered wasn't just medicine, it was love. So he began. He bottle-fed her every few hours. He kept her wrapped in blankets through the cold nights. He played music softly in the stables and spoke to her like a father would a child. He massaged her legs, helped her stand. He never left her side for long. Something incredible happened. Little by little, Kayla began to respond. She opened her eyes wider. She tried to stand. She wobbled, fell, but tried again. Her appetite returned. Her coat, once dull and patchy, began to shine. By her first birthday, Kayla was running through the fields like a storm. Strong, graceful, wild. The villagers couldn't believe it. "That's the same horse?" they whispered. How? They saw now what they hadn't before. The power of second chances. And more than that, the power of Ahmed's love. As the years passed, Kayla never left Ahmed's side. Wherever he went, she followed. In the evenings, As the sky blazed with color, she would walk up to his porch and rest her head on his shoulder. They would sit there for hours, not speaking, because no words were needed. Their bond was legendary. People came to the farm just to see them. Children were told bedtime stories of the farmer who saved the dying horse. Kayla became the symbol of the village, a living, breathing miracle. But time, as it always does, continued on. Ahmed began to slow down. He no longer woke before the sun. His steps grew unsure. His hands, once strong, trembled. Kala seemed to notice before anyone else. She stayed closer, nudged him gently when he struggled to stand, watched over him at night. Then, one quiet evening, after watching the sunset with Kala beside him, Ahmed went to bed and didn't wake up. His family found him in the morning, peaceful, his hands folded on his chest. The news spread quickly, and the entire village mourned. He had asked to be buried on his farm, near the stables, close to the land and the animals he loved most. His family honored that request. The funeral was somber. Men and women stood in silence, heads bowed. Children clutched their parents' hands. The wooden coffin was placed beside a small olive tree, not far from the stables. But as the final prayer was being said, a sudden, loud crash tore through the quiet. The stable doors burst open. Kayla had escaped. She galloped through the mourners, wild-eyed and desperate. People cried out in alarm, stepping aside. She didn't slow down. She ran straight to the coffin. And then, something no one could have imagined. She began to kick it, fiercely, again and again. Her hooves crashed against the wood, each strike louder than the last. People screamed. Some tried to pull her back, but she fought them off. Then, silence. A faint noise came from the coffin. A cough. A gasp. The lid trembled and opened. Ahmed was alive. He had fallen into a state of catalepsy, a rare medical condition where the body mimics death. No pulse, no movement, cold skin. Even the doctors had believed he was gone. But Kayla somehow knew. She felt it. The same way she had once sensed her own death and trusted Ahmed to save her, she now returned the miracle. The village stood frozen in awe. Ahmed was rushed inside, weak and confused, but breathing. His family wept. Strangers embraced, and Kayla, gently now, followed the stretcher inside. People no longer saw animals as tools or property. They saw them as living souls, capable of emotion, intuition, and even love deeper than most humans understood. Children grew up with the story of Ahmed and Kala. Teachers told it in classrooms. Artists painted it on village walls. It became a legend, not of fantasy, but of truth. A reminder of what it means to love without conditions and to believe in something greater than ourselves. Ahmed lived for many more years. He never fully recovered his strength, but he found peace in every moment. And every evening, as always, Kayla came to him. She rested her head on his shoulder, just like before. They would sit there quietly, the sun dipping low, casting long shadows across the land. Two souls bound by something deeper than fate. Because sometimes the life you save ends up saving you. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe. Let the world know that love knows no boundaries, not even between man and horse.